Bye! Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dom. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I typically make bookish content, movie content, and anything else in between because I like to do whatever I want on this channel, and today we're doing something that's anything else in between. For today's video, we're going to be talking about TV shows because I'm going to do my quarterly wrap-up of all the TV shows I have watched. This time it's going to be from the months of April through June. Okay, so we have 5 shows to talk about. Spoiler alert, they're all animation. Spoiler alert again, 4 of them are anime. And let's just jump into it. So the first show I completed was Attack on Titan Junior High. I actually was in the middle of watching this the last time I did one of these wrap-ups. In fact, I think I only had 1 episode. This is only 12 episodes long. It is a parody of the anime Attack on Titan. The author of Attack on Titan has nothing to do with this. This is a whole brand new author, brand new producers and everything. And everyone is a chibi, and they're really cute. And there's no like proper plot to it like Attack on Titan. This is very episodic. It's just bringing in the characters we know and love. Those last 4 episodes of Attack on Titan brought me nothing but pain. The amount of tears I shed. I needed something happy, so I watched this. I said this in the last video, but I'm going to say it again, and I want you all to know that I will throw myself into oncoming traffic for Chibi Armin. I will do that. I will jump off a building, the Sears Tower, you know, the tallest one in Chicago. I will jump off that. Throw myself out a window, step on a Lego for him. I will do anything for Chibi Armin because he is so cute. But there's just so many other moments of Chibi Armin where I want to hug him, and he deserves nothing but good things. So does Mikasa in this. Mikasa in this is absolutely obsessed with Eren, and it's so funny because there's one scene I'm thinking of where he's high-fiving everyone but skips her. Not intentionally, but you can see the heartbreak on her face, and it was so funny. And yeah, this is a solid show. Unfortunately, you can't see it without seeing Attack on Titan because it would be, you know, weird because you won't know what's going on, really. If you do want to watch this, I suggest finishing the first season of Attack on Titan first because they do bring in characters that aren't introduced until later in that season. But other than that, it was really cute. I got nothing else to say about it. So then the next show I watched was Sword Art Online. This has 4 seasons, I think, and a few movies, but I unfortunately only lasted 1 season. So what is this anime about? It's about a boy named Kirito who is playing this video game called Sword Art Online. It's part of this headgear system where you literally put it on your head, you lay down, and then like plays with your sensors. You're essentially like hallucinating yourself into this video game. So then on launch day, he's playing with a bunch of people, and all these people realize they cannot log out of the game. And that's because the creator of the game has locked them in and says you need to fight all 100 levels, whatever it is. You need to defeat the master. You're all stuck until then, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. Now, like I said, I only lasted 1 season, so that was about 25 episodes. My favorite, so there's 2 different arcs within those 25 episodes. My favorite was the first one because honestly this anime does have a very interesting plot like video games. That's cool, and the music was amazing. The animation was fine. There's just a lot of things I had problems with. So I enjoyed like the first half of the first arc because it was as challenging as I wanted to be, but then after a while I just thought things were happening a little too easy for Kirito. Like not really, not like super easy, but they weren't difficult enough. I thought they were getting through the game way too fast because I thought it was weird that in the first few episodes it was taking them weeks just to defeat level 1. All of a sudden by episode 3 they're already in like level 73 or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's a little interesting. And then the end of the arc kind of pissed me off because you do meet the villain, and then Kirito asked him why did you do this? And then the villain's response wasn't happy with it. It left a lot of things unanswered. And as pissed off as I didn't want to just give up after that arc because I'm like, okay, maybe the second arc will answer my questions. No, the second arc did not answer my questions. In the second arc, they're in a whole new video game. There was like some near incest going on, and like that's kind of a spoiler, so I don't want to get into that. But like I was just so like freaked out about what was going on, and it was just weird. I wasn't a fan, you know? Like, that's the main gist, and also just the second arc, I wasn't as intrigued by the plot as I was with the first one, just because I feel like, the anime is called Sword Art Online, and I just feel like the game Sword Art Online was just thrown away too easily, and I just couldn't get myself to start the second season, which is unfortunate because, like, at the end of the first season, there's that little found family going on, and I thought it was really cute, but I don't know, I just couldn't get myself to start the second one, especially because I heard a lot of people in the fandom don't like the second season. So I was like, alright, if I'm not enjoying this, I'm just gonna move on start something new. Then I rewatched the second season of Black Butler. By rewatching, I mean the last time I watched this was in high school, I want to say, so like 10 years ago. And I rewatched the first season 2 years ago and then never got around to rewatching the second. So here we are rewatching the second season of Black Butler. So what the first season is about a boy named CL Phantom Hive who makes a deal with a demon named Sebastian, and during this deal, while Sebastian is trying to solve CL's problems, he has to serve as CL's butler, and at the end of their contract, Sebastian is able to eat CL's soul. So what I found out though, so like going into the second season, I remembered absolutely nothing, so it was like kind of new to me. Like I remembered certain characters here and there, but the gist, it was lost on me. But then I found out only the first half of the first season is from the manga. Everything else, like from the second half of the first season, all of the second season is all anime original. And ever since I read that, I can kind of see it because just the plots weren't linking together. Some things in the second season were happening too fast. Problems weren't being solved. I don't know. Like, it's hard to describe what I mean by that. Like, once I know something's anime original, I can tell. And I really liked this season when I was a kid, but rewatching it now, I didn't. What I really didn't like was the end of Sebastian and CL's arc. Like, when I was younger, I thought it was like such a plot twist, but rewatching it now, I felt bad for Sebastian. Like, here's this contract you made, and because of a loophole, you get the shitty end of the stick. I just felt so bad for him to the point where, like, I couldn't bring myself to really enjoy the end. Like, I enjoyed the anime as I was watching it, but that ending really pissed me off. And I must have misremembered, because when I was younger, for some reason I remember Sebastian being, like, okay with what happened, but he is not. He is very clearly angry about the end result, and just being older, I don't blame him. But knowing this is all anime original, it does not happen in the manga, it does make me want to read the manga. My local Barnes & Noble has like every volume ever, and I was debating buying it, but I don't know. I still have to finish some other manga before I do that, but yeah. Moving on. So, the family I used to babysit for, they had Paramount Plus. What does Paramount Plus have? All the old school Nickelodeon shows that I used to watch. So my shit when I was younger was My Life as a Teenage Robot. So I decided to rewatch My Life as a Teenage Robot. I only got through the first 2 seasons before I left the job, so that means I was only able to watch 26 episodes. So this show is about a robot who was programmed to save the world from catastrophe, but she was also programmed to be a teenager. So you're kind of watching her go to school, make friends. It's a good time. There's no like follow-up plot. You can watch any episode and know what's going on because it is a very episodic show. I was kind of shocked by how well this holds up because I tried watching other shows and I didn't include them in the list only because I didn't watch enough of them to be included. But I tried rewatching As Told by Ginger, and I tried rewatching the original Rugrats, and both those shows I lasted 3 episodes and just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, oh my god, this is not funny. Why did I like this as a kid? This does. I was still laughing. I mean, these were jokes I first heard when I was like 8 or whenever the show came out, but here I am at like 23, almost 24, laughing my ass off at a kid's show. So it still holds up, and I'm happy about that. I also like the old school animation they're kind of going for. Like, if you look at, like, not all the characters have this, but some of the characters have the old school eyes where they're like, they're the ovals, but then they have that, like, point. You know, like the old school Mickey Mouse used to have. I remember who my childhood crush was now. Everyone had a crush on a cartoon character at one point. There's that question, like, which cartoon character was your awakening, basically. And I knew, for the longest time, I knew I had one, but I could never remember what the answer was. And I finally figured it out watching this show. My childhood cartoon crush was Brad. The nostalgia I felt, and I'm like, oh my god, I wanted you to be my boyfriend when I was younger. And I wanted him to date Jenny. I do remember that. But there's like some episodes that I was like, ooh, when rewatching it, because there is an episode where Jenny goes to Japan to save Japan. All the Japanese characters are literally yellow. But it's like, why did you animate them yellow? You know, like it wasn't a joke or anything. It was just the style of animation. I'm like, that's not okay. Wow, we've come a ways from that. But that's the only like major problematic thing I can remember. One thing I thought was really cool within that same episode, because the plot was that Jenny lost a disc that helps her speak English, so she was stuck speaking Japanese, and it was wild because apparently I've been watching way too much anime because I could understand what she was saying without subtitles. Not understand, but I could get the gist of what she was saying. and I was wondering if it was her actual voice actress speaking Japanese, because it sounded like her, but I didn't know she was dubbed. So I looked it up, and she is voiced by a Japanese-American voice actress, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And this show does have, like, somewhat big names, at least big names within voice acting. Grey Delisle plays a few characters. Eartha Kitt makes an appearance. But yeah, nostalgia hits you right in the gut. The last show I'm going to talk about within this segment is Joan, the Princess of Snow and Blood. This is about a woman who is an assassin. She protects the government. That's who she works for. But then secrets come out, shit ensues. She has this type of blood that everyone is after, and they're trying to kill people of her clan. And she turns into, like, I forgot what the creature was called, but she turns into this, like, half crow, half human sort of thing, and it's really cool. And that's essentially the plot. Like, I'm not subscribed to Crunchyroll, but I still get a lot of videos in my recommendations because, you know, the FBI is stalking my laptop, is doing his thing. I was scrolling through a lot of the trailers because I didn't care. Something made me click on this one, and I'm glad I did. It looked really cool, so then I was really looking forward to this show. Unfortunately, this show was actually a major disappointment. This show suffers from just not having enough episodes to flesh out its plot. There are only 12 episodes. Each 4-episode block is a new plot, so 1 through 4 is book 1, 5 through 8 is book 2, so on. And that threw me off because that's not, from the trailers I saw, that's not how it was advertised. It was advertised to have, like, that one specific plot in book 1, and that was it. And I understand why they couldn't advertise the plots for 2 and 3, because, like, that would be spoiling. But my point is they didn't advertise the fact it was going to be 3 books within a 12-episode segment. And it just really suffered from that, because book 1 was over, and it was just so rushed that I felt like I finished the whole show. And I could not understand how they were going to extend it at all. By episodes 5 and 6, that's when I started getting, like, really iffy about the show, and I couldn't really put my feelings into words, so I started reading, like, the 1- and 2-star reviews to, like, get ideas. So, like, the biggest complaint was that the plot of this show is all over the place, which I somewhat agree with, somewhat not. Me, personally, the plot was still cohesive. It just, like I said, it suffered not having enough episodes, so things were introduced and weren't fleshed out, so then they ended too quickly. I think that's what my problem was. I actually really enjoyed book 1, but episodes 1 through 4. I really liked where that was going. And then I somewhat enjoyed book 3, which was episodes 9 through 12. It was the middle book 2 that I had a huge problem with. That was when the plot got, like, really messy, and I felt like the show was losing its footing, and then it didn't get it back until later within book 2, and it was just, it's not all over the place, but, like, it's still bothered me. Like, characters were dying and you were clearly supposed to feel bad for them, but they just weren't on screen enough for me to care. Obviously, the only character I truly cared about was our main character, and then the end of her arc kind of pissed me off. You get to the last episode, and I wasn't angry, I was disappointed. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. I was disappointed in how her story ended, just because there was just this build up to where you thought it was gonna go, just for them to scrap that. They pulled out the rug from under me, and it went somewhere else. My jaw literally dropped, not because, like, I didn't see it coming and it was a good plot twist, but because of how, like, just not okay I was with it. This one, I think I'm just really sad that it disappointed me, just because I was looking forward to it so much, and because the art style of this anime is stunning, and I feel like it was wasted, because it has, like, you know, the normal anime, but then when she turns into that, like, changeling thing, it switches styles to, like, a paintbrush style. In this form, she breathes out steam, and when the steam passes her face, you can see her, like, skull structure, and it was just so well done. Like, it was so fluid, and I just feel like amazing artwork like that is wasted on something like this. I truly think this show would have been phenomenal if each book had its own season. So if, like, book 1 was stretched out to 12 episodes, and I really think they could have. It could have added a lot more suspense, like, holes could have been filled, the plot could have been more cohesive if they did so. Book 2 could have been a season 2, book 3 could have been a season 3. I truly think that's the route they should have gone. Now, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know if there were troubles. I don't know if the 12 episodes was intended. But if you're asking for constructive criticism, that's where I think it needs to go. That's how I think it needs to be done. And, like, maybe if this show was stretched out and had more development and better writing, maybe the main character's ending wouldn't have disappointed me. Maybe I could have understood it more. Because that was the other thing. I didn't understand why it had to happen. Like, I've seen plenty of arcs that do follow this path, but like they're explained and I get it. This one I just feel like it happened either to like piss us off or just for shock value. And it didn't work. But yeah, if you've seen this anime, because this is like a low-key anime, not a lot of people have actually watched this. People were calling this the hidden gem. If you've seen this, I'm really interested to know what your thoughts are. Because I want to know if I'm like alone in this. Well, clearly I'm not alone if there were a lot of people disappointed like I was. But I want my mutuals to tell me, like, how did you feel about this, you know? I really did like the main character, and I just wanted better for her, and she deserves a better story. But yeah, those were all the TV shows I watched, not a lot. So I do want to talk about what I am currently watching. I am currently halfway through Mindhunter, which is a Netflix original show. This is based on I don't know if it's like based on the story or inspired. But this is inspired of the true story of the behavioral science unit being created within the FBI. It's essentially like a psychology program, a psychology sect of the FBI. They research serial killers to learn behavior, see if they can predict it, and prevent future crimes from happening. I say inspired because they don't use these people's real names. Like, the characters themselves, like, they're real people but with different names. So that's why I'm saying inspired, and I'm sure the creator of the show took creative liberties. I don't know for sure. I don't know the behind the scenes story. But that's what it's essentially about, and I like to tell people it's a rated R Criminal Minds because I feel like it's the same idea. But in Criminal Minds, all those people are obviously fictional, whereas this show is actually bringing in real life serial killers. Like, Ed Kemper is one of the people they interview. Charles Manson, they interview him. And I'm loving this show, but it's so disturbing. Because, for example, if you don't know who Ed Kemper was, he kidnapped women, he murdered them, and he raped them. And it's so disturbing listening to him tell these people why he did it, especially because the way he's telling it, he's clearly not troubled. He was very calm, and he was very much like, he was like nonchalant is what I'm trying to say. And it's like, it's unnerving, you know? Because, I mean, like, listening to the shit in Criminal Minds is one thing, because they're fictional characters. But, like, Ed Kemper was a real guy. Also, Jonathan Groff is in this. King Henry, I always want to say King Henry. King George III in Hamilton, and also Kristoff in Frozen. But yeah, I'm halfway through this, so I don't want to give more detail about how I feel, but I am enjoying this so far. It's not bingeable, but just because of how unnerving it could be. But if you really like Criminal Minds, I think you would like this show. And now I just want to tell you guys future shows that I think I'm going to watch soon. I don't really know how soon. But shows on my list, we got Tokyo Ghoul, we got Promised Neverland, which I've heard both of which I've heard from manga readers they do not like. Tokyo Ghoul, I am a manga reader, so I want to go into it. It's going to be the first time I go into an anime having already read the manga. Promised Neverland, because of the controversy, like, I know it skips a bunch of chapters from the manga, but the reason I want to check it out is because I want to see how it is from an anime-only standpoint. I thought that would be interesting, and then I could share my thoughts about that. Another one is Kakegurui, I think. This I'm going to watch right after Mindhunter. It's about gambling and shit. The main reason I want to watch the show is because I can recognize the voice of the main character. The main character has the same voice actress as Shinobu from Demon Slayer, so thanks. Fruit Basket is on my list because the friend I got to watch Attack on Titan is obsessed with this show, so she's like, because I watched Attack on Titan, I want you to watch Fruit Basket, and I was like, girl, I got you, and I know it just ended, so I could just binge it. And then I really want to watch Violet Evergarden. I don't know what this is about. I know it's on Netflix, and the animation looks beautiful, and I know Violet Evergarden herself is played by the woman who voices Mikasa from Attack on Titan, so that's another reason I want to check this out. But yeah, that is it for this video. Let me know down below what TV shows you guys are watching, how many of you watched this year. I feel like I'm watching way too much TV, but like, what else am I going to do at my time? I am such a binger. It's so bad. There's no reason I should be watching entire seasons in a day, but here I am. No life. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. And without further ado, I'm going to peace out, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao a tutti.